Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Jane's Fleet Command as we continue on with the reference materials. Today we have one of the last short sections, and that is Pakistan. Relatively short, I guess, in this case. But in any case, we got a nice spread here, so let's start going through it, starting with the Hashmat diesel submarines. Hashmat SSK. Publication Jane's Fighting Ships, Section Submarines, Country Pakistan. Title Hashmat or Augusta Class SSK. Specifications: displacement 1,490 tons surfaced, 1,740 tons submerged. Length 221.7 feet, beam 22.3 feet, draught 17.7 feet. Speed 12 knots surface, 20 knots submerged. Range 8,500 nautical miles at 9 knots. Snorkeling 350 nautical miles at 3.5 knots submerged. Complement 54, of which 7 are officers. Main machinery diesel electric, 2 SEMT peel stick 16 PA4B185BG diesels, producing 3,600 horsepower or 2.65 megawatts. 2 Jumont Schneider alternators, rated for 1.7 megawatts, powering 1 motor, producing 4,600 horsepower or 3.4 megawatts, 1 cruising motor producing 32 horsepower or 23 kilowatts, powering 1 shaft. Armament and electronics missiles SSM, sub-harpoon on submarines 135 and 136 with active radar homing to 70 nautical miles at Mach 0.9, or Exocet SM-39 missiles on the remainder. Torpedoes, 4 21-inch 533mm bow tubes capable of firing a load of up to 20 Econ F-17P or AEG SUT wire-guided torpedoes with active passive homing and water ram discharge gear. Mines, Stonefish, ESM, ARUD on submarines 135 and 136, and DR-3000U on the remainder for intercept and warning. Radar, surface search, DRUA-33 operating in the I-band. Sonars, DSUV-2H on submarines 135 and 136 for passive search, and DUUA-2A and 2B on submarines 135 and 136 for active and passive search and attack. DUUX-2A hull-mounted passive ranging, and DUUA-1D active. 2 are active, the Hashmat and the Hurmat. Why? So they only have 2, which are presumably 135 and 136, so I guess they must have decommissioned the others, maybe? Is that what the implication is here? I mean, as it is, I think... I could be wrong, but I think they mentioned the Augusta class, which I assume this was an Augusta before it was sold to Pakistan. I want to say that's a French submarine, but I can't remember 100%. In any case, we have the Hangar SSK, publication Jane's Fighting Ships, Section Submarines, Country Pakistan. Title Hangar or Daphne class SSK. Daphne, I'm pretty sure was a French submarine class. In fact, is it even in, hold on. Yeah, we have Augusta and Daphne there. Okay. So, I guess the 2... So it was kind of, well, no, because the article was for the Hashmat class. So I was thinking maybe it's like, oh, maybe it's for all of the Augusta class, and they're just saying, oh, yeah, these 2 hulls were slightly different and make the Hashmat class. But no, the article was for the Hashmat class, so. Anyways, unimportant. Hangar SSK, specifications, displacement 869 tons surfaced, 1,043 tons submerged. Length 189.6 feet, beam 22.3 feet, draught 15.1 feet, speed 13 knots surfaced, 15.5 knots submerged. Range 4,500 nautical miles at 5 knots. Complement 45, of which 5 are officers. Main machinery diesel electric, 2 SEMT peel stick 12 PA4B185 diesels, producing 2,450 horsepower, 1.8 megawatts. 2 Jumont Schneider alternators, rated for 1.7 megawatts. 2 motors, producing 2,600 horsepower, 1.9 megawatts, powering 2 shafts. Armament electronics, missiles, surface-to-surface, sub-harpoon with active radar homing to 70 nautical miles at Mach 0.9. Torpedoes, 12 21.7-inch or 533mm tubes, 8 in the bow, 4 in the stern, firing a total of up to 12 ECAN L5 Mod 3 or AEG SUT torpedoes, which are dual purpose with active and passive homing, no reloads carried. ESM, ARUD for intercept and warning, radar, surface search, DRUA 31 operating in the I-band, sonars, DSUV-1, hull-mounted passive search. For our active, the Hangord, the Shushuk, the Mangro, and the Ghazi. Here we can see a picture one underway. And here is the 3D model. And actually, did I do that for the Hashmat? I can't remember. So there's a picture of the Hashmat in port. And there's the 3D model of the Hashmat. I know I got distracted reading that entry. Anyway, surface ship classes. Gearing class guided missile destroyer. Publication Jane's Fighting Ships Section Destroyers Country Pakistan. Title Gearing Fram 1 class DDG. Specifications: displacement 3,500 tons full load, length 390.5 feet, beam 41.2 feet, draught 19 feet, speed 32 knots, range 4,500 nautical miles at 16 knots. Complement 274, of which 27 are officers. Main machinery 4 Babcock and Wilcox boilers. Rated for 600 psi or 43.3 kilograms per centimeter squared, operating at 850 degrees Fahrenheit or 454 degrees Celsius, powering 2 GE turbines producing 60,000 horsepower or 45 megawatts, powering 2 shafts. Armament and electronics. Missiles SSM, 6 Harpoon missiles in 3 twin launchers with active radar homing to 70 nautical miles at Mach 0.9. For anti-submarine, they have ASROC Mark 112 octuple launcher with 8 reloads, inertial guidance from 1 to 5.4 nautical mile, 1 to 5.4 nautical miles, carrying a Mark 46 torpedo payload. Guns, 2 5-inch 127mm 38 caliber twin in a twin mounting, or in a twin Mark 38 mounting. Firing at 15 rounds per minute to 9.3 nautical miles in the anti-surface roller, 5.9 nautical miles in the anti-aircraft roll. 20mm 6-barreled Vulcan Phalanx Mark 15, firing at 3,000 rounds per minute to 1.5 kilometers. 8 23mm 87 caliber guns in 2 quad mountings. Torpedoes, 6 324mm US Mark 32 tubes in 2 triple sets. Firing the Mark 46 anti-submarine torpedo with active and passive homing to 5.9 nautical miles at 40 knots. Countermeasures, decoys, 2 Plessy Shield 6-barreled fixed launchers, firing chaff and IR flares in distraction, decoy, or centroid modes. ESM and ECM. Argo Apex 2 includes AR-700 intercept and jammer. Radars, air search SPS 40 operating in the E and F band, or SPS 29 operating in the B and C band, range 175 nautical miles. Surface search SPS 10 or SPS 58 operating in the G band. Fire control Mark 25 operating in the I and J bands. Sonars SQS 23D hull mounted active search and attack. Helicopters facility for 1 SA 319B Alouette 3 seldom used. We are active the Almgir, the Timur, and the Tugril. Here we can see a picture one underway. So we can see the 5-inch gun, the ASROC, and this is kind of whited out, but maybe. No, I think these are the harpoon tubes, and this is the landing platform for the helicopter. Oh, come on now. Oh, not that one. And here is the 3D model. And yeah, I see they took the easy way out and just used the U.S. Navy octuple tube setup there with the 4 tubes opposing each other. With the 2 sets of 4 tubes opposing each other. And we can see there's torpedo launchers on the front too. And the phalanx at the rear. Tariq Destroyer, publication Jane's Fighting Ships, Section Frigates, Country Pakistan, title Tariq or Amazon class, Type 21 destroyer or frigate. So this is an ex-British ship. Specifications: displacement 3,700 tons full load, length 384 feet, beam 41.7 feet, draught 19.5 feet including screws, speed 30 knots or 18 knots in tines, range 4,000 nautical miles at 17 knots, 1,200 nautical miles at 30 knots. Complement 175, of which 13 are officers with accommodation for 192. Main machinery, combined gas or gas, using two RR Olympus TM38 gas turbines producing 50,000 horsepower at 37.3 megawatts sustained, and two RR Tyne RM1C gas turbines for cruising producing 9,900 horsepower or 7.4 megawatts sustained, powering two shafts with CP props. Armament electronics, missiles, surface to surface. 4 Harpoon 1C missiles may be fitted abreast of the funnel. SAM, China LY-60N semi-active radar homing, 7 nautical miles at Mach 2.5. Guns, 1 4.5-inch 114mm 55 caliber Mark 8 gun with up to 55 degrees elevation, firing 25 rounds per minute to 11.9 nautical miles in the anti-surface roll or 3.3 nautical miles in the anti-aircraft roll. 1 General Electric General Dynamics 20mm 6-barrel Vulcan Phalanx Mark 15, firing 3,000 rounds per minute to 1.5 kilometers to replace CCAT in some of the class. 2 or 4 20mm Mark 7A cannons and 1 MSI DS-30B 30mm and 2 GAM BO1 20mm guns may be fitted in lieu. Torpedoes, 6 324mm SCWS Mark II in 2 triple tubes, only in Badr and Shaharan, all to be fitted with Type 43X2, single or quad launchers for Swedish torpedoes in due course. Countermeasures, decoys, Type 182 towed torpedo decoy, 2 Corvus 8-tube trainable launchers, Mark 36 SRBOC is to be fitted. Radars, air and surface search, Marconi Type 992R operating in the ENF band to be replaced by DA08. Navigation Type 1006 operating in the I band. Fire control 2 Type 912s operating in the I and J band to a range of 22 nautical miles. Sonars Type 184P hull mounted active search and attack, and Type 162M hull mounted bottom classification. ATAS may be fitted. Helicopters 1 Lynx HAS 3. 6 are active: the Tariq, Babur, Kaibar, Badr, Tipu Sultan, and Shahan. Here we can see a picture of one underway. And here is the 3D model. Leander class frigate, publication Jane's Fighting Ships, section Frigates, country Pakistan, title Leander class FF. Specifications: displacement 2,962 tons full load, length 372 feet, beam 43 feet, draught 18 feet including screws, speed 28 knots, range 4,000 nautical miles at 15 knots, complement 235, of which 15 are officers. Main machinery: 2 boilers, rated for 550 psi or 38.7 kilograms per centimeter squared, operating at 850 degrees Fahrenheit or 454 degrees Celsius, powering 2 White English electric turbines, each rated for 30,000 horsepower, 22.4 megawatts, powering 2 shafts. Armament electronics: guns, 2 4.5-inch 140mm 45 caliber Mark 6 guns and 1 twin mounting, with up to 80 degrees elevation, firing at 20 rounds per minute to 10.3 nautical miles in the anti-surface roll or 3.3 nautical miles in the anti-aircraft roll. 6 25mm 60 caliber guns and 3 twin mountings, firing at 270 rounds per minute to 1.6 nautical miles. Anti-submarine mortars: 3-barreled UK MOD mortar Mark 10 with automatic loading with a range of up to 1 kilometer. Countermeasures: decoys, Type 182 towed torpedo decoy, 2 8-barreled trainable chaff launchers. ESM: a UA 8, 9, or 13 radar warning for radar warning. ECM: Type 668 for jamming. Radars: air search Type 966 operating the A band, AKE1. Surface search Type 993 operating in the E and F band. Navigation Type 1006 operating in the I band. Fire control Type 904 for 114mm guns operating in the I and J bands. Sonars Type 162M hull-mounted bottom classification, Type 170B hull-mounted active search and attack, and Type 184P for hull-mounted active search and attack. Helicopters: 1 SA-319B Alouette 3, 2 are active: the Zulfikar and the Shamshir. Here we can see one decked out with flags, so maybe this is part of a fleet review or something. You can see all the people lined up in their dress whites too. And here is the 3D model. Hongfang PCFG, Publication Jane's Fighting Ships, Section Patrol Forces, Country Pakistan. Title Hongfang Class Fast Attack Craft Missile or PCFG. Specifications: displacement 205 tons full load, length 110.2 feet, beam 24.9 feet, drop 8.9 feet, speed 35 knots, range 800 nautical miles at 30 knots, complement 28, main machinery 3 Type M503A diesels producing 8,025 horsepower or 7.94 megawatts sustained, powering 3 shafts. Armament electronics: missiles SSM 4 Haiying 2 C201 missiles with active radar IR homing to 51 nautical miles at Mach 0.9. Guns: 4 25mm 60 caliber guns and 2 twin mountings firing at 270 rounds per minute to 1.6 nautical miles in the anti-aircraft role. Radar: surface search, square tie operating in the I-band, range of 40 nautical miles or limits of radar horizon. 4 are active: the Azmat, the Dashat, the Himat, and the Kuwat. There we can see a picture of one underway. And here is the 3D model. And we have the Hibat PCFG, Publication Jane's Fighting Ships, Section Patrol Forces, Country Pakistan. Title Hibat or Hagu Class Fast Attack Craft Missile or PCFG. Specifications: displacement 79.2 tons full load, length 88.6 feet, beam 20.7 feet, drop 4.3 feet, speed 37.5 knots, range 400 nautical miles at 30 knots, complement 17 of which 2 are officers, main machinery 4 Type L12B 180 diesels producing 4,800 horsepower or 3.53 megawatts, powering 4 shafts. Armament electronics: missiles SSM 2 SSN-2C Styx missiles with active radar or IR homing to 46 nautical miles at Mach 0.9. Guns: 2 25mm 80 caliber guns in a twin mounting firing at 270 rounds per minute to 1.6 nautical miles. Radar: surface search, pothead operating in the I-band. 4 are active: the Hibat, the Jalat, the Jurat, and the Shujat. Here we can see a photo of one, all number 1022. And here is the 3D model. Alright, then for aircraft, we have the Mirage 5, Publication Jane's Aircraft Upgrades, Section Aircraft Fixed Wing Military. Country Argentina, Libya, and Pakistan. Title Mirage 5, Type Single and 2-seat ground attack aircraft. Specifications: power plant 1 SNECMA ATAR 9C turbojet engine, producing 60.8 kilonewtons or 13,670 pounds thrust, with afterburning length 51 feet 0.25 inches, height 14 feet 9 inches, wingspan 26 feet 11.5 inches, max takeoff weight 30,200 pounds, max wing load 80.53 pounds per square inch, max level speed Mach 2.2 at high altitude, ceiling 75,450 feet using rocket motor, takeoff run 2,295 feet to 5,250 feet, landing run 2,295 feet with braking chute, combat radius 700 nautical miles, and a high-low-high profile with a 2-ton bomb load. Armament: ground attack armament includes 2 30mm depth of 5.52A guns, firing high explosive or armor-piercing ammunition, and 2 1,000-pound bombs, or an AS-30 air-to-surface missile. For interception, 1 Matra R-530 air-to-air missile with optional guns and 2 Matra Magic missiles. Here we can see a picture of one. And here is the 3D model, which appears to be in Pakistani service, based on the flag. F-16 Fighting Falcon, Publication Jane's All the World's Aircraft Section Aircraft Fixed Wing Military. Country Pakistan, Taiwan, United States of America. Title F-16 Fighting Falcon, Type Single and 2-seat multi-role fighter. Specifications: power plant 1 131.6 kilonewton or 29,588 pounds thrust, rated engine in the form of the F-110 GE-129 or 1 F-100 PW-229, producing 129.4 kilonewtons or 29,100 pounds thrust, afterburning turbofan as an alternative standard. Length 49 feet 4 inches, height 16 feet 8.5 inches, wingspan 31 feet 0 inches, max takeoff weight 42,300 pounds, max level speed above Mach 2.0 at 40,000 feet, service ceiling 50,000 feet, radius of action 2 hours 10 minutes for combat air patrol with a 200 nautical mile radius with the external fuel. Armament. Weapons launched successfully include AIM-9 L, M, and P Sidewinders, AIM-120A AMRAAM, Sparrow, Skyflash, AGM-65A, B, D, and G Mavericks, ASRAAM, French Magic 2, HARM, Shrike, guns, M61A1 20mm multi-barrel cannon with 511 rounds of ammunition. And that's why you'll see, like, for a lot of these Jane's games, maybe it gets better with some of the later ones, like F-15 and F-18. But that's why the range on the AMRAAM is so short, is I think they're using the A model specs. Well, I did it again. There we can see a picture of one. And here is the 3D model. Alright, Lynx helicopter, publication Jane's Fighting Ships, section Shipborne Aircraft, country Malaysia, Pakistan, title Lynx HAS-3, specifications operational speed 120 knots, service ceiling 10,000 feet, range 320 nautical miles, armaments, weapons ASW-2 type 244/S torpedoes for anti-surface vessel work. They have two 12.7mm machine gun pods, sensors, sea spray radar, and orange crop ESM. Here we can see a very whited out picture of one in flight. And here is the 3D model. And finally, we have the SA-319 Alouette, publication Jane's Fighting Ships, section Shipborne Aircraft, country Pakistan, title SA-319B Alouette 3, role reconnaissance helicopter, specifications operational speed 113 knots, service ceiling 10,500 feet, range 290 nautical miles, armament electronics, weapons ASW-1 type 244S torpedo and depth charges, sensors, weather and search radar, as well as magnetic anomaly detector. Here we can see a picture of one, and here is the 3D model. And that will be it for this time. Next time we will start the Russian entries, which I'll probably divide up into 3 sections, kind of like we did with China. And the US, I might have to take that to an even more extreme standard if I want to preserve my voice. Same with the UK. Taiwan should hopefully be pretty short though, and then we have the weapon entries, and then we'll essentially be done with the series. I think I'll do a 1-episode showcase of kind of like what you get with the Naval Surface Warfare mod, if I'm remembering that right, which is something I did play with a long time ago, but yeah, we're making good progress. So with that, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for next time, and stay safe out there. We'll see you then.